it going, everybody? This is Chris from the Sumuri Software Team. In today's video, I'm going to be talking to you guys about a brand new feature in RECON ITR's Triage interface called Export to Image Container. So the general purpose behind this feature is to allow examiners to quickly find artifacts of interest for specific plugins using RECON ITR's Triage tool. However, if any of those artifacts are identified as important or need to be reviewed later on in another tool, then Export to Image Container will allow an examiner to take those files and put them into a forensic image. So this can be an extremely helpful feature that can go ahead and help speed up a lot of on-scene investigations and be incorporated into your everyday process quite easily. So we're going to run you guys through how you can actually access it. So to get started with this new feature, go ahead and start a new triage case inside of the RECON ITR Live application. I'm going to go ahead and select New Case from the Start menu right here, and we have the New Case Configuration Wizard available to us. So I'm going to enter in my basic case information here, and type in a case number and a case name, and I'm going to select some very basic plugins here so that we can go ahead and jump right into it. I'm going to go ahead and select Messages, as well as we'll go with, say, Notes. So we're going to go ahead and choose these two plugins right here. I'm going to go ahead and choose the Use Spotlight option. I'm going to make sure that my source is set to live system so that I'm triaging the Mac that I'm currently on. And finally, I'm going to choose an output directory. So I'm going to send this to my Recon Imager data partition and hit open. And finally, I'm going to select Start. So in just a couple seconds, it's going to parse all the information for those two plugins, and we should see the RECON ITR result viewer available to us right here. So you'll notice that there is a new button at the top of the RECON ITR result viewer interface called Export Case. So this is what we're going to be working with right here. Basically, after we have finished running our actual triage case and we're working with the result viewer, as usual, we can go ahead and parse through artifacts of interest for those specific plugins that we've selected. So if I want to browse through my database messages, then I can do so from here. If I want to see attachments for those specific plugins or that specific plugin, then I can go ahead and view them right there. Now, if any of these artifacts are something that are of interest, or any of these artifacts have a lot of value to us and need to be further reviewed in another tool, then this is where Export Case is going to come into play. So I'm going to go ahead and select this button up here at the top, and I will get a disclaimer that tells me that this is not a full forensic image. So basically, only the actual files that are associated with these plugins are going to be pulled into that image container. So if we want a full image or a disk image or something similar to that, then we would have to use RECON Imager. But this is a really effective way for us to pull just the information associated with specific plugins into an image container for further review. So I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And right here, I have a very basic interface for exporting this case. So I can edit my case information up here at the top. I have a list right here in the middle of all of the plugins that I've actually run. For this one in particular, I'm going to go ahead and choose Messages. Now, I also have an image type available down here of both DMG and sparse image, as well as a Calculate Size button so that I can make sure that my destination drive is adequately equipped. For this case, I'm going to go ahead and leave it at DMG. Right here, I have the scope of my image, so whether or not I just want to pull bookmarked artifacts, or if I want to export the entirety of that plugin, then I can switch that right here. For this case, I'm going to choose Full Plugin. Now I have to choose the output directory to send my image to. So in this case, I'm again going to send it to my Recon Imager data partition, and hit Choose. And finally, I have to enter in an image name. So I'm just going to call this Messages. Now, after all of this is configured and I'm ready to go, then I just go ahead and click the Start button down here. And in just a couple seconds, it will make the DMG, copy the information into the DMG, and I should be off to the races. So I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. I'm going to open up a new Finder window. I'm going to open up my Recon Imager data partition. And inside of here, I now have this Recon ITR export case folder available to me. I'm going to expand this out, and I should have my Messages DMG available right here. So if I go ahead and open this up, you'll see that I have a file structure available here. I'm going to clean up my view so that it's a bit easier to see. So I will have the actual file system structure of my live machine. So I can go ahead and expand out my users folder, for example, and I'll see that I have a hidden library folder now that should have all of the information associated with my messages. So if I expand out messages here, I'll have my different attachments, like for example, my fluffy kitty. And I also have this chat database here, which is going to contain all of my messages. So this is a really easy way for us to go ahead and quickly export artifacts of interest for specific plugins, so we can actually review that in another tool. So for example, if we wanted to load this image into Recon Lab will basically be able to much more quickly scan this plugin for relevant information because it doesn't have the rest of the image to worry about. It's just what we're looking for with our actual messages. And that's about it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to leave a like if you did. Make sure to leave a comment if you have any ideas or any questions about anything that I've actually covered in this video, or feel free to reach out to us directly if you have any questions. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so that you are always staying up to date with the latest and greatest news from Sumuri. And again, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day.